Fox News exclusive. President Trump just told our own Aisha Hasni that he has canceled his envoy's trip to Pakistan to hold talks with Iran. Aisha Hasni sending us this direct quote from the president. "I've told my people a little while ago they were getting ready to leave, and I said, nope, you're not going to make an 18-hour flight to go there. We have all the cards. They can call us anytime they want, but you're not going to be making any more 18-hour flights to sit around and talk about nothing." Now, this is significant. It came after the trip earlier in the week where we thought the Vice President J.D. Vance would be going to hold talks was scuttled. So that is breaking news from our own Aisha Hasni. And Alex Hogan is live from the White House with the exclusive details. Alex.
Hi, Aisha. So major shakeup to the negotiations that we did expect to see take place today. And this once again shows how delicate these negotiations are, despite the broad international efforts to get everyone to the table at the last hour. Just like this morning, everything can simply fall through. So what we did expect to see, we were waiting to see Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, the U.S. envoys, were going to be leading that delegation today in Pakistan. President Donald Trump, as you mentioned, just telling Fox News' Aisha Hasni today that he has canceled that trip. It comes amid the news that Iran's foreign minister has already left Pakistan. President Trump once again saying that there's no point sending them on an 18-hour flight and that Iran can call at any time. The Iranian delegation arrived in Pakistan yesterday for these negotiations, and Iran's foreign minister released a statement following his meeting with Pakistan's head of armed forces, saying that the two discussed various views and considerations on ending the war. But again, right now, a lot of questions with this breaking news that, again, the foreign minister has now left Pakistan, putting in jeopardy the potential talks that we were expecting to see today. Yesterday, the Treasury Department rolled out a new wave of sanctions targeting 40 shipping firms and vessels that operate as part of Iran's shadow fleet. And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says that this blockade will remain as long as it takes.
This is a real full blockade. We'll use up to and including lethal force if necessary, and that stopped, and other ships have taken note of that. So any ships that have attempted, there's been levels of escalation, but none that far, and they've turned around.
So we'll wait to hear more from the White House. We have reached out to them to see what this will mean moving forward in these potential talks. But again, as you mentioned, the president told Aisha Hasni that Iran can come forward when they are ready for future talks. The White House has remained adamant that they have enough pressure, especially as it pertains to the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, the president is not here. He is in Mar-a-Lago. We do expect to see him return to Washington, D.C. today for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It will be his first time attending that as president. Kaylee.
Alex Hogan, thank you. Let's bring in Dakota Meyer, Marine and Medal of Honor recipient. Dakota, we do hold a lot of cards. Nuclear program is really set back. Ballistic missiles program crippled, and the list goes on. What are your thoughts?
I mean, look, I think that we're in a great spot right now. I think that there's a critical time. I could see us very clearly. I think, you know, what you just broke the news of us not going over there. I think, look, the president doesn't see anybody who's taking this serious yet. And so I think the next step is we're probably going to return back to using military force in order to get them to a point to where they really want to take this serious. I think there's a lot of dynamics to this, though, and I think the great thing that we do have is we have a president that knows how to get a deal, and we have a president that wants a deal. And so I think that we'll eventually get there, and I'm still hopeful with everything with Iran.
Dakota, and you've been there. I mean, you're a Medal of Honor recipient. I was talking to Keith Kellogg earlier, and he said maybe it's time to seize Karg Island. Maybe it's time to do something very strategic that would really put more of an economic chokehold than's already there on Iran. Your thoughts about that?
I mean, I think that if we don't do everything that we can right now in order to take advantage of this opportunity, the one thing that I have always believed, and every time that I have not done this, is when you have somebody on the ground, you finish them off. You don't sit here and let them get back up, because usually that's when you lose. And right now we have Iran on the ground. We have a perfect opportunity to be able to go in and do whatever the president needs to do. I think, look, nobody has the information the president has. He's the only one in this thing that has all the information behind the scenes we're all going off of and trying to listen to, this propaganda war that's going back and forth. There's a lot of posturing that I call it. And so what I would say is I agree. I think we do whatever we have to in order to, get to where we want to be, because this could be the only opportunity in our lifetime that we have to be able to do this the way that we're doing it.
I think what you just said is really important, the only opportunity in our lifetime. And we have seen an Iran deal where Iran violated that deal. It was, tossed aside by President Trump. So right now, you believe, as we stare down diplomacy, we know we have a president who's not going to make a weak deal. He just doesn't do that. He's never done that in his lifetime. Or military action. Your prediction is we see military action. Do we see it soon?
I do. I think we're going to go back to bombing them until we get them to say, we're going to come to the table. But you have to understand this. The Iranian people, they're very proud people. To get them to give up, to get them to quit, it's going to take, it's going to take a lot more than what we think it's going to. So, I think it could come at any time. Obviously, I have no clue. I'm not in the know on this. But if I'm looking at what the president does, the president is always going to do one thing, and that's what he says. And so, I think we're fortunate. I think we're in a good spot. I think that the American people have got to sit back and they've got to stop reading all of this propaganda, this misinformation war, because that is what Iran is doing. They are throwing out all this misinformation because they know that if they can get the people of America to not support the president, if they can sow these seeds of doubt, that is their biggest asset for them to be able to fight us and to be able to cause roadblocks for the president, which is what they need right now. We need a president who has the support of America behind him. We need to trust this moment, and we need to be ready to do whatever it takes in order to put America first and to get us to where we need to be in this situation. Because we have a real opportunity right here, not for just peace in Iran, but also peace across the Middle East like we've never seen in our lifetime.
Dakota Meyer, well said. Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.